when it comes to strengthening the back, there are different muscles that you may want to focus on if you are having specific pain or discomfort in the site or at the origin of the muscle. I'm going to go over that in today's video. So if you're new to my channel, consider subscribing to the channel. Check out my stuff below to support me. I'm going to be using, once again, my notes here to refer to. I have some notes on the board, so you can refer to that during today's awesome video. Outfit's not like super exciting today, but I got my fancy tank top on, and that's what I got going on. So when it comes to the back is a very complicated muscle group. It's one of the biggest muscles in the body. Your legs also being a big muscle group in the body. If you train your legs, it takes a lot of calories, it takes a lot of energy to build your legs, a lot of energy to grow your legs. Same thing with your back. If you want really thick back, it takes a lot of volume, a lot of energy, and a lot of time. And when it comes to strengthening your back for prevention reasons and for longevity reasons, there are really two main muscle groups that you may want to focus on to optimize your training and to extend your lifespan while you're training, so that you can stay safe and, you know, ultimately do activities that you want to continue to do in your everyday life. So the two muscles is the erector spinae and the multifidus. So the erector spinae is the muscle that hugs the spine. It's the muscles that spine, that's your erector spinae. It's a really big muscle that hugs the spine. Please excuse this, that's from my low bar squatting from the barbell. If you have those thick erectors, or you see the thick erectors, for example, mine are pretty thick here in my back because of lots of squatting, lots of deadlifting. And typically if you see really thick erectors all along the back, that's not a bad thing, it's a good thing, but it can also not be a good thing if you do not balance it out with other movements, because you don't want to only strengthen one side of your body or one dimension of your body. You want to strengthen different parts, different dimensions of your body, so that you are not putting yourself in a rabbit hole in case something were to happen, and you know, you don't want to get hurt. So you want to make sure you optimize your movements and move in different ranges of motion. So the difference between the two is the erector, hopefully you can see, the erector spinae is, it produces extensor force for lifting. So what that means is when I bend over, this is flexion, this is extension. Flexion of the spine, extension of the spine. The erector spinae produces extensor forces, so extension forces. So hence when you deadlift, anytime you pick something off the floor, you are extending your spine. So thus you're producing force in that motion. Then you have the multifidus, which provides stabilization for the low back. So stabilization, your ability to stabilize, and or I should say keep in place the spine when you are in a very vulnerable position. So something like maybe some balance work, maybe some anti-rotation work will help to stabilize the spine. So I'm going to list out some exercises that you can do to strengthen the erector spinae, strengthen the multifidus, so that again you can reach your goals. So the first exercise to strengthen the erector spinae is the traditional deadlifts. So I'll probably just have a little picture here on the screen of what deadlifts are, how you can execute deadlifts. Deadlifts are a great exercise. If you go to a physical therapy or a chiropractor, they should be having you do deadlifts. The next exercise to strengthen your erector spinae is called the back extension. So I have a back extension right here. This is the back extension. I got it off of Amazon. It's about $50. A back extension is exactly what it sounds. It's where you go down and you extend. Go down, extend. Okay, when you extend, you are resisting gravity, and when you add weight, you're adding more of a reason to your muscles to strengthen that muscle group. Not particularly my first choice, the back extension. I would rather have somebody do a deadlift because I feel that it teaches you how to do proper mechanics so that you do not get hurt in your everyday life. Because The next exercise is bird dogs. I'll have a picture on the screen. Bird dogs are great. It's an anti-rotation exercise, meaning you have to balance out one side of your left leg with your right leg and balance out that way. You can do it even standing like how I'm doing right now, or you can do it seated on a bench. Superman is where you lay on the floor, you extend your arms up, you extend your legs up, you come back down. Very, very simple exercise. Really good one if you don't have a back extension at home is the rack pulls. So rack pulls is when you have a rack and you pull from the rack instead of all the way from the floor. If you pull from the floor, that's a deadlift. If you pull from a rack, that's what I call a rack pull. Really great for strengthening the erector spinae, really great for strengthening the top range of motion of your deadlift. Next one is pull-ups. Everyone knows what pull-ups are. Anytime you do a pull-up, you pull up. You're activating your lats and you're strengthening those erector spinae muscles as you hold yourself to the top. One, of course, is rows. So everybody knows what rows are. You grab a dumbbell, you grab a, moderately to heavy weight. You bend over, you row back down. Okay, any type of row. Row this way, row this way, row this way. But specifically to target the erector spinae, you typically would want to bend over and row to really get those muscles. All right, so for the exercises for your multifidus, so your multifidus is a very quirky, interesting muscle. It's the muscles that are really deep in the spine. If you research multifidus, it's typically one of the most researched muscles in science for strengthening the back because it is really responsible for attaching at the vertebrae to help to stabilize those muscles so that you do not, get too loose when you are training. That's another thing is when you are lifting weights, you don't want to be too loose, you want to be tight. So anytime you go to a fitness competition, for example, like powerlifting, you might hear people say, stay tight. And that's what they mean when they say stay tight, is you want to make sure you're bracing your movements so you can protect your spine. First exercise is side planks. Side planks is very simple. You just get in the plank, lay on your side, hold yourself there, really targets that multifidus. Focus on your breathing, making sure you're doing it properly, making sure you're in a straight line. One is cat camels. I'm gonna make a separate video to discuss a little bit more about this. Cat camels are really simple. You can even do it standing. You can, the cat is where you do this. Camel is where you do this. So you're kind of like protraction, retraction, cat, camel, cat, camel. You can recreate the cat camel with a back extension, which I will discuss in a separate video. That's called. The next one is the one that I mentioned already, is the erector spinae, which is bird dog rows. So a bird dog is what I mentioned earlier. You have your extend one leg, extend one arm, come in, come out. That's a bird dog. A bird dog row is where you extend one leg, you have a weight on your hand, and now you're gonna row in this motion. What this is doing is the weight in my left hand is throwing me off as I'm trying to stabilize myself with this side because of this weight that's pulling me out. Really good exercise if you have any imbalance. Last two is the power press with lateral walking and side plank rows. So when you do side plank rows, you are in a side plank and you are rowing. Okay, like I said, I'm gonna make a separate video, part 2 to this video to explain the exercises. But the next one is the power press hold. It's where you have a band in front of you and you hold it out and you try to resist the force laterally. It's pulling you laterally, so you have to resist it, thus strengthening your deep back muscles. This video found you well, and I hope that it was helpful. If it was helpful, please share it with your friend and comment below if this was useful. To training your back, you have to be really smart with your back. You want to move in different ranges of motion to ensure that you are keeping yourself safe, keeping yourself protected, and keeping yourself sane while you're training. Easier to adjust yourself to when you increase the weight and get stronger if you have a stable spine. If you don't have a stable spine, it's going to make things a lot harder, and it's going to cause a little bit of some hiccups in your training because again of that stabilization importance in your training. Okay, so thank you for watching. Please consider liking the video and subscribing to the channel. Click below for more information from yours truly if you're interested in a consultation or programs or questions, you can find that information down below. Otherwise, I will see you in the next video.